Hello, dear friends. I'm happy once again to see you and to congratulate the beginning of one of the very interesting conferences in the world of many kind of great things, especially business administration and disruptive environment. So, because we have disruptive environment, I'm Professor KAKHABER Djakeli from Georgia, from true Georgia, what is really Georgia, like 5,000 years old country, meeting with great pleasure Georgians from the United States and everybody from different kind of places, especially Romanians, with your great hospitality, with your great spirit and great heart, all times receiving Georgian people with open mind, character and your natural hospitality. So thank you very much. Disruptive marketing, by the way, is one of the interesting process and interesting invention in the world of marketing. What can save companies from a disruptive environment? So we understand that we have a lot of risks, and these risks say us that we should try to run faster than it was usual in previous period. So in Georgia we made very practical experiment. This practical experiment can be used well by marketers in a lot of different countries and different markets. So we studied well what is marketing oriented company. To be marketing oriented, you should have three main elements. The first element, this is you should have hands-on information about what is happening in different kind of markets, what your competitors are doing, and how you can answer their some kind of innovations, and why you should not hurry up to speed your innovative process. This is first element. The another element is how departments and units of your company understand this kind of type of information. Is information well translated in the language of company? Sometimes company has information but nobody understands, nobody cares this information because huge information is very boring, and people, if they don't understand and they don't have special guides to know information, they try to forget about information and how a person behaves. A person has traditional some kind of intention to behave through some intuition, and this intuition is very risky in business world. Intuition can fail the business process. That's why we need translation of innovation, translation of information in the language of company. And then the third element is how strategy of the company takes this information into consideration. Are strategic plans and strategic vision, mission, objectives, goals, brand elements established on the information, on hands-on, fresh information, what is gathered by some professionals. So if company is marketing oriented and company is managed as a marketing team, that means that this company can start very interesting process of disruptive marketing. What is disruptive marketing? So to say, what kind of traditions we find in history of business development. So about disruptive marketing. Disruptive marketing is continuation of disruptive innovations, and this kind of type of disruptive innovations can be found in history of different countries. So for example, we can take into consideration how books were rewritten in old period. Books, they were rewritten by some kind of monks in monasteries, and one of great example, this is Romanian monasteries or Georgian monasteries, Orthodox churches, where monks, 6, 8 people in one unit, they were working very hard daily. In night they were continuing to work. So these kind of departments, these kind of units, they were entitled as scriptoriums. These scriptoriums they end their existence when Gutenberg invented printing press. And printing press was this kind of type of disruptive innovation. So there are some kind of doubts that Gutenberg's invention was already done by Chinese companies, Chinese some kind of units who had also some kind of type of printing press. But officially we know that Gutenberg implemented this kind of type of great disruptive innovation. And this disruptive innovation changed everything, almost everything. So, and how this kind of things are going. So first of all, people started to write on clay tablets. After that, they turned into papyrus and bamboo. Wax tablets were used, some kind of parchment was used, and after some period, printing press changed everything, and printing press was beneficial for final customers. Final customers really, so they found a lot of comfort to read. Why? So, because you know that when you rewrite the different texts, and if you make this by hand, your influences are very subjective. If you are nervous, you cannot write nicely. So that means that when we try to check different kind of books, in the period of war, in the history of Georgia, we had a lot of wars. In the period of war, monks, even monks, they rewrite not well because they are nervous. Something is happening around them. So Gutenberg's invention changed the functional level of the product. According to the meaning of marketing, we can divide all kinds of innovations into levels. The first level, this is functional level of the product. The next level, this is actual level of the product. And the last level, this is augmented level of the product. Augmented level of the innovative product. So Gutenberg changed functional benefits for final customers. So Gutenberg made something what was done after that by Henry Ford when he implemented assembly line. And this assembly line also made a lot of comfort for workers in the company and for customers because they found very standard and not very expensive final product, final car of Ford manufacturing. So that means that if you try to improve and make more beneficial functional level of the product, what is basic level of the product. So that means that you already do something what looks like disruptive innovation. If you also improve the actual level of the product, you continue and you deepen this kind of type of disruptive innovation. And finally, if you try to implement something interesting in augmented level of the product, that means that you are already in the level of disruptive marketing, and disruptive branding is started by you because people already understand the meaning of your some kind of novelties, the meaning of your great interesting things, what you try to give them. And right now I want to show you the matrix. What is, I think, main benefit of my work to the marketing? So as we know, branding is started by brand elements. You should gather very interesting brand elements. So these brand elements, they are name, sign, logo, symbol, feeling, emotion, smell, jungle, music, emotion, association. So archetype, like Carl Gustav Jung was establishing different archetypes, all kind of things, they are put into brand elements. But these brand elements should be checked by 6 principles to understand, are these brand elements well or not well. So these 6 principles, they are divided into offensive principles of brand element checking and defensive principles of brand element checking. They are like, first of all, memorability of brand element, meaningfulness of brand element, likability of brand element, so adaptability of brand element, transferability, and the final is protectability of brand elements. So if we gather these brand elements, we should know, well, are these elements working for three main dimensions: principles of parity, principles of differences, and that's all. We add here the third dimension, what is principles of prestige. Why we found these principles of prestige? Because we was thinking about Gutenberg. Gutenberg changed entire world of writing. So, and the entire world of information spreading, information establishment. Gutenberg established books, but for whom these books they were established? For cardinals, bishops, archbishops, kings and queens. First books, they were prestigious products. They were not very social products. So social product books became, after some period, then the number of printing press organizations were plenty, and the number of books were also a lot. So, but first of all, in the beginning stage, all products, they are prestigious products if branding is done well. That's why I add here my idea and idea of my team about prestigious elements. Prestigious elements. So what kind of prestigious elements we can take into consideration? And these prestigious elements, in my abbreviation, you see here in the matrix, they are entitled as POPR. So world of branding knows, well, POP, points of parities, and the POD, points of differences, and we add here points of prestige. So to find, to start prestigious branding in the beginning stage. So what is this? Why is it needed? Why? Because people, when they obtain new products, they should feel themselves prestigious. They should feel themselves that they obtain something prestigious. In that kind of situation, they pay well. And you know that the first customers who are coming, they are innovators. After them, coming early adopters, late adopters, and so on. And the last group of people, they are laggards who are obtaining some kind of new things. So prestigious drives people to take new things. So prestigious is very interesting point to make people to pay well, to have high willingness of to some kind of product, high willingness to pay for some kind of product. So we made 2 experiments. The first experiment, these experiments are well described in my article. The first experiment was done in fast food industry. So students created fast food unit. They created some kind of fast food, but they tried to distinguish, first of all, POP, points of parities. That means that this fast food should be as tasty as usual fast foods, competitor fast foods in Tbilisi, like Burger Kings and McDonald's and so on and so on. So first task was to make fast food to be as delicious as their fast food, as tasty as their fast food. So points of differences, this was a little innovative process. We add fresh ingredients, and these fresh ingredients, they were added from some kind of ecological farms, ecological places, and this was points of differences for our fast food. And the last process was to make this prestigious, to obtain this fast food, and we made narrow focusing to the customer, narrow focusing to the customer, to tell to customer that we were using special diet, special prescriptions from rugby players, how rugby players, they eat and drink something, what kind of things they want to see in their daily food. So we add this kind of special prescriptions about rugby players' diet to this kind of type of healthy fast food what we implemented. So, and this was narrow segmentation. And this we did only in functional level. And you see functional level, this is here, what we did. And right now I will explain what we implemented in actual level of the product. So actual level on the points of parities was the 4 P's, the same 4 P's, what you know, product price, promotion, price. So the actual level to points of differences was little improved 7 P's. So we added 3 additional P's. We claimed to the people, we were informing them about our innovation. So we add additional 3 P's. What is people, personal evidence, and process. Process was transparent in the company. Everybody could see how things are done and how product is prepared. This process was transparent with some kind of glass windows. Everybody could see how clean is the process, how interesting is the process, how well this process is managed. And we went to narrow segments of the population. These narrow segments, they were sport-oriented people with some kind of intention to be sportsmen. Especially, we gave them some kind of feeling that if they do this kind of things, if they come to our fast food, they can be rugbyists, they can be rugby players. And rugby, by the way, in Georgia is second religion right now. So we are Orthodox Christians, like Romanian nation. Rugby is second religion. Why? Because our rugbyists, they were almost all times champions. We were winning, especially against Russian teams. And Russian national team was defeated 10 times, maybe 20 times by Georgian national team. And so Georgian national team and Georgian clubs of rugby, they are like spiritual leaders of society. And young population, they are following them all times. So, and we tell to customers of our fast food what is entitled as mzianeti, so some kind of name, what sounds well into Georgian, that if they eat this fast food, they are rugby players. So some kind of association was created for them. And on augmented level, information was well spread to population. POD, points of differences, was growing awareness and positive image of person who is coming to eat this kind of type of mzianeti fast food. And points of prestigious, some kind of feelings, they were personal meeting with rugby player to whom you were much devoted, who were your fan, to whom you were great fan. So this was some kind of students and young people. They were writing names of some kind of rugby players, and we were inviting these rugby players to some kind of meeting in our unit, in our gathering. And gatherings, they were taking place 2 times in the week, and some kind of rugby players, they come and speak, and in the same time they eat this kind of fast food. And they say, oh, it's great, delicious. And they say about their personal life. So these meetings, they became very popular. And finally, I want to tell you about disruptive branding pyramid, established by me and my team. So, but before I start to speak about disruptive branding pyramid, I want to tell you about another organization, what was also used as an experiment by us. This is another organization. This was a cave, small bar, meeting place. So this meeting place has the name anti-stress. This bar has the name anti-stress, and we tried to implement the idea about prestigious branding into the bar of anti-stress. What we did? First of all, we made people to think that they are some great tribe, great tribe of followers of wonderful idea to live healthy lifestyle. This was first. This was great points of differences. About points of parities was everything was very nice. Anti-stress means that to live without stress, to live happy life, not to have some kind of risks of some kind of spiritual or some kind of other type of failure. So all times to be in very nice mood. And the points of prestige here also we implemented rugby players and caves. They are most wonderful places in the evening to spend with some kind of popular star, not very huge star, not national rugby player, but some kind of club rugby players who are coming to this kind of place because they like this kind of things and who stick with people